Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum friends. Welcome back to the latest transfer episode. We have the latest updates so far in this morning, and hopefully you guys will be really excited what the news we have to offer over here. So we're gonna start with Tottenham. As you all guys know that Tottenham are rebuilding and they are trying to back up their manager Antonio Conte with lots of money. So they did go ahead by buying Perisic. They also bought Bissouma from Brighton. They are also in for a right back. They want Spence, whereas they are looking at other names. Now Tottenham are moving quick in the market. The name which was coming up earlier for like last whole week has been Richarlison of Everton. Now the news have just breaked in, which is to do with Richarlison. The news which has been coming in is regarding Richarlison that the new deal is going to be signed today. The new negotiations for Richarlison's are done. The deal is completed. Tottenham have agreed a fee with Everton. It's going to be £50 million with add-ons. So that means 50 million plus add-ons. So it might go up to that 60 million mark. And that means that they have signed Richarlison, which is a pretty good signing. I'm sure that Tottenham fans are going to be pretty happy. So looks like Spurs are going to end the curse of trophy. It looks like JSK. Thank you very much for tuning in. So it seems that Tottenham are finally kind of getting the right people, the right personnel, according to Antonio Conte. And we do know that Antonio Conte tends to work with a system in which he kinds of upgrade his players level and he kinds of make them work tactically. So I'm sure that Richarlison will be able to give them what Tottenham are lacking. Will he be a replacement of player? I don't think so. I think he will kind of support the likes of Harry Kane, Son, and I won't be surprised to see him even playing on the right hand side, although Kulusevski has really made that position pretty important, and we might see Richarlison playing in another role. But it's a pretty good deal that Spurs have got this man. They're also working on to get a central defender, which is Lenglet. Surprisingly enough, the reason maybe Tottenham going for him is due to the fact that they're looking at the numbers, at the figures that they're going to spend, and when it comes to next spending, they will try to see if they can sell some of their own players, try to raise some cash. For that reason, they are going a little bit low on budget for terms of centre back. They were linked to Guardiola. They were also looking at some other defenders, but it seems that they're gonna get Lenglet on loan, and perhaps if he performs well, there might be a buyout clause which will be inserted in his contract. So we're gonna see the likes of Tottenham going after Richarlison as well as Lenglet, which is pretty good news for Tottenham. And most probably it seems that they are trying to improve. They got the Champions League place last season. They might see this season as trying to at least challenge for the title, plus get a trophy, maybe a League Cup, maybe an FA Cup, or perhaps going further in the Champions League round. But I would say that they are trying to build this side in order to at least give a challenge for the Premier League title. So let's see how this one goes. Now I would want to move on to other news, and I would like to speak about the likes of Rafinha. Now I do know that Rafinha is getting interest from plenty of clubs. Rafinha has been a pretty important player for Leeds United, but it seems that his stock is going up. This transfer season, I think he's going to get his move. Now, where does he get his move? It's to be seen. Like for 2 to 3 weeks, we've been hearing different kind of stories. First, we were hearing about that Lenglet versus Maguire. Let's see. And what we were looking at was that Rafinha was pretty much close to join Barcelona, and somehow, some way, it was Arsenal who came in, and Arsenal were pretty sure that they would get Rafinha. They were working on Gabriel Jesus, and after Gabriel Jesus, it seemed that it was going to be Rafinha, but somehow Chelsea came in and they made a bid which was accepted by Leeds United. They offered more money than Arsenal, so it seemed that maybe Rafinha would head to Chelsea, but then again, the personal terms haven't been agreed with Chelsea. So that means Rafinha is still waiting and see which club does he choose. I think Deco, who is his representative, is gonna, Rafinha wants Barca, so he don't want to play for Chelsea. That is true. That's what I'm about to tell you about, that Rafinha is still wanting that Barcelona move. Now the key over here is that Frankie de Jong completes his deal to Manchester United. And once that deal is done, Barcelona gonna have some money. Now it's yet remain to be seen that where do Barcelona spend that money. Will they spend that money on Lewandowski, or will they spend that money on the likes of maybe Jules Koundé or Rafinha? We do not know yet. I think their first most priority is to get Lewandowski, and if they want to get Lewandowski, it's going to cost them, because in wages Lewandowski is going to ask for a lot of big contract. So that might come into play. When that kind of thing happens, I can't see Rafinha being financed by Barcelona, because Barcelona already have financial problems. Until and unless Barcelona make more sales, I think they're trying to reduce their wage budget. That is the reason why Lenglet is leaving on loan. They want to reduce that wage budget of their own. Once they do that, then they could make accommodation for Lewandowski big contract, and then Frankie de Jong leaves, then that also makes a bigger room in the wage structure. So I think Barcelona are trying to see once Frankie de Jong leaves, and then perhaps they will look at the likes of Rafinha, Jules Koundé and Lewandowski. So I think if that is true, he will take a pay cut through, because if Rafinha wants to move to Barcelona, then he will have to agree on a lesser contract. But then Chelsea and the likes of Arsenal can offer him more money. So it all depends on his situation with Barcelona finances. So if his heart is tilted towards Barcelona, I think he does need to understand that Barcelona are in financial crisis. They cannot make those kind of moves as they used to like 3 to 4 years back. Maybe the fact of the matter is that Barcelona would say to him that, you know what, we are willing to go for you. Maybe we'll pay in installments for your fee, but you need to take a pay cut, and perhaps then we can only move for you. It depends on what Rafinha thinks. If he wants to play for Barcelona shirt, then he might have to accept a lesser contract. But then again, you don't have a bigger career in terms of years. He's what, 23, 24 years old. So that means he will still have one bigger move left in his career, like after 4 to 5 years. But I still think that it all depends in collectively. Maybe Thomas Tuchel speaks to him, maybe Mikel Arteta speaks to him. It all depends on the situation. But I think Arsenal are looking at this deal and they think it's pretty expensive, because 60 million pounds is going to be a little bit too much for them, because they've already gone on for Gabriel Jesus. They've already got Vieira. They are looking for a centre back. I don't think so they have enough budget. Maybe they will move on to Gnabry of Bayern Munich, who has a 1 year remaining on his contract. So for that reason, I still think that Arsenal might move on from Rafinha, and then it will be between Chelsea and Barcelona. Barcelona are cash strapped. It will be difficult. So that means that Thomas Tuchel will have to convince Rafinha to sign for them and be a Chelsea player. So right now, let's see how this one goes. And Chelsea are waiting from an answer from his agent, from the player himself, and let's see how it happens. Barcelona and Arsenal are still trying, but let's see how it goes. And there's still some legs in this move, so we will wait and see for this one. Whereas I'll be also speaking about Paul Pogba. Now, Paul Pogba talks are still continuing with Juventus. It seems that he will join Juventus. It's going to be a 4-year contract, and Paul Pogba might have to take a pay cut, but maybe he gets some little bit of signing on fee. So that kind of balances his deal in all over. So if City jumps in, then he will join City 100%. No, I think City are moving on to the other targets, because I don't think so. Nobody will come in for Bernardo Silva. Nobody can pay 70 million pounds or 60 million pounds for the likes of Bernardo Silva. Riyad Mahrez, I think if they even sell Sterling, they might have some money and they can go for in Rafinha, but we still haven't heard from Pep Guardiola, so I will wait out and see. You might be true, but we'll wait out and see how that one goes. Now, Paul Pogba is going to finish his talks with Juventus, and most probably he'll be the new player for Juventus. Whereas we will also speak about PSG right now. Now, PSG are speaking to FC Porto. The deal is almost getting to a completion for Vitinha. So if Vitinha signs for Paris Saint-Germain, that's going to be a very good signing for PSG, whereas he was linked with Manchester United, but it seems that PSG have stolen a march on him. Now PSG are also in talks with Renato Sanchez. They want him because Luis Campos have signed for PSG and he knows the player pretty much from Lille days. So that means Renato Sanchez will move to PSG as well. Whereas their next target is also Milan Skriniar, in which they are still in talks with Inter Milan. maybe an agreement of 60 million plus, maybe 65 million euros will be enough for them to get Milan Skriniar, which is going to be a pretty good deal for PSG. Whereas I'll be now moving to the next news as well. We're going to be speaking about Chelsea. Now Chelsea, they were linked to Raheem Sterling. They want Raheem Sterling. They also want Rafinha. I think Raheem Sterling might happen over by Friday or maybe Saturday, because Chelsea need to make those moves. Lukaku has already gone to Inter Milan, and they need to make those kind of moves in order to get their transfer targets as early as possible. Whereas they are still working on De Ligt. They're also working on Nathan Ake. I think this time around City are going to sell 2 to 3 more players, and we might see them playing in different teams, maybe Chelsea, maybe we will see them playing in other clubs as well. So I do know that they want to sell Zinchenko, they want to sell the likes of Raheem Sterling, they wanted to sell Riyad Mahrez. If anybody came in big for Bernardo Silva, then they would have looked at that, because Bernardo Silva wants to move. So we will see about that one. So most probably that is the case. But Thomas Tuchel does want defenders, and he's looking at De Ligt, and he's also looking at Nathan Ake. So we might see these two names a lot in related to Chelsea, and we will see how that one goes. But it was also reported earlier that if in case De Ligt wants to move away from Juventus, then do not count out Manchester United, because they would want to get De Ligt, and Erik ten Hag loves the player. He thinks much bigger of a player, and he would want to rejoin his player again. He would want to make that kind of core group which took him to the semi-finals of Champions League, which was of De Ligt, Frenkie de Jong and many more players. So if he gets Frenkie de Jong, then he would want to get De Ligt, and I'm sure if Juventus do want to sell him, then I wouldn't rule out Manchester United for De Ligt, and I would still think that they would come in late for De Ligt. So let's see how that one goes. Whereas now we will be moving on towards West Ham. West Ham are progressing their talks with Villarreal in regarding to Danjuma, who is being quoted as 45 million euros. Now West Ham want him, and let's see if they do agree on that fee, maybe lesser than that, and we will see if they do sign the likes of Danjuma, which is going to be a pretty good move for the likes of West Ham, and we will see how that one goes. Now Fiorentina, they're also speaking to Real Madrid for Luka Jovic. There might be an agreement on the loan fee, which will be around 6 million euros, and we will see Jovic leaving Real Madrid to join Fiorentina, and that means his stay at Real Madrid will come to an end. Whereas in other news, it seems that Gondouzi, who has moved to Marseille, is going to complete his permanent move from Arsenal, which is going to be in the region of 10 million euro fees. So that means Arsenal are trying to get some players out, and they want to raise some cash. Maybe the next player on the list is going to be Lucas Torreira, whereas Bellerin was linked to Atletico Madrid. So there might be some outgoings from Arsenal, because the fact of the matter is they have spent almost 100 million. So they will try to raise some cash in order to get some more of incomings. So we will wait and see how do Arsenal do on the outgoing front. Whereas there is another news in which Dennis Pratt will be leaving Leicester soon. Fiorentina wants to sign him on permanent. So let's see how that one goes. So Fiorentina going in for 2 players, Dennis Pratt as well as Luka Jovic, which is pretty good. And talking about another free transfer which is going to happen is Tolisso, who will be joining Lyon on a free, and it's a done deal. He will be joining back his old club. What it means for Paqueta, will he be looking for a move to Newcastle United? I think Newcastle United are in for him, and it's just a matter of time when they bid for him, and they will get the likes of Paqueta. Maybe that is the reason Lyon have gone back in for their old player in Tolisso. So they are trying to get this deal wrapped up, and they will sign him. So guys, this is the update so far we have for the transfers. I am still waiting for Lisandro Martinez. Maybe perhaps in the afternoon session I'll be able to report something back to you. So hopefully you guys would have loved today's episode. I want to thank you very much for joining me, and thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon in the afternoon session, and by that we'll have more transfer news. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice one. Thank you. Bye.